Now, the centre is reviewing the all-out efforts to launch the Made in India vaccine and improve test kits for coronavirus. Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan has evaluated the cutting-edge research which is being undertaken by the Department of Biotechnology and 18 autonomous research bodies along with PSUs. India has already developed RT-PCR test kits which are considered the ultimate confirmatory tests to detect the virus. India has already started manufacturing rapid antibody test kits in Haryana's Manesar, which would give results in just minutes, instant results that these test kits offer. The need for mass production of these test kits assumed urgency. In fact, multiple batches of these Chinese antibody test kits turned out to be faulty. And going by that, it looks like the centre now pushing for India to be self-reliant, urging many of these units to come up with test kits that can be manufactured within India, as well as vaccines alongside.
Reasonably significant progress has been made in various fields, more particularly about development of indigenous antibody test kits and also indigenous RT-PCR kits. We have been doing an exemplary job. Our laboratories and scientists in ICMR, they have ramped up their testing capacity to huge numbers, and right now if we have an indigenous kit, whether it is an antibody test kit or a RT-PCR kit, is going to deliver rich dividends to the cause of COVID mitigation.
We have Milind Sharma joining us live for more on this. Milind, China's test kits that came in were faulty. In fact, Beijing has also expressed concerns and questions of the handling of these test kits by Indian agencies instead. And now we know that the Pune-based Behemoth Serum Institute is now developing a vaccine with foreign collaboration. So India is doing all it can to ensure that they are self-reliant and sustainable. Several laboratories there indulging in manufacturing test kits. It's all under trial, made in India.
Well, certainly after the experience that India has had with China, it is pushing for more self-reliance. We know that it's not just the test kits or the vaccines, but India has started production of PPEs here. They have also started heavy production of homemade masks and commercial masks within the country. So self-reliance is big this time on the government's agenda. And after the Chinese testing kits had come out to be faulty and the ICMR had traced its problems, the other testing kits that the Indian developers are making at this point is getting impetus from the government, and which is why their production ramp up needs to be discussed and needs to be followed through so that the rapid antibody test kits are ready for Indian surveillance, and which will be a crucial tool to understand symptomatic as well as asymptomatic cases within the country, and especially in containment zones.
Right. Milind, thank you very much for joining us with those details. Let's quickly go over to Delhi. Now, on the same lines, IIT Delhi has developed a low-cost COVID-19 test kit. And this is the first probe-free testing kit to be approved by the ICMR and can be quite a game changer in scaling up the country's COVID-19 testing. Take a look at this special report.
The COVID-19 pandemic has triggered a slew of innovations in labs across India. IIT Delhi has become the first institute in the country to develop a probe-free COVID-19 detection test. The clinical method boasts of reducing testing costs without compromising on accuracy. The RT-PCR test currently being used costs 4,500 rupees. The kit developed by IIT Delhi will be much cheaper as it will eliminate the use of probes, a chemical imported from abroad. The probe-free real-time PCR test has received the approval from ICMR and the Delhi-based National Institute of Pathology.
ICMR has approved our assay with 100% sensitivity and 100% specificity. We are hoping that the licensing will happen early next week, and in a few weeks we expect to see our kit in the market.
The IIT Delhi team is now targeting a large-scale deployment of the kit at affordable prices with suitable industrial partners.
With this assay that has been made by IIT Delhi professors and students, it will help ramp up the testing capacity of India to do more tests in times to come to find out and help those who are battling coronavirus, even asymptomatic ones and even symptomatic ones, and this will help indirectly to find out how ready India is in the battle against COVID-19. With Vinod Kumar in New Delhi, this is Milan Sharma for India Today.
Now, Karnataka's Excise Minister Nagesh has hinted at a severe financial crunch in Karnataka amid this lockdown. The minister has said that he has already informed Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa of the situation and how there needs to be relaxation of the lockdown norms and ease of business in the state after 3rd of May if they've got to come back to normalcy. The minister added that government's treasury is running dry, coffers are running empty, and they're finding it hard to pay off salaries and other expenses amid this fight against the virus. Karnataka Excise Department suffers a loss of at least 1,800 crores per month due to this alcohol ban, sale of liquor, which is one of the most reliable source of revenue for the state of Karnataka. In fact, after yesterday's con call with Prime Minister, Karnataka Chief Minister Yediyurappa has, however, decided to maintain status quo on the lockdown until the situation is eased across the country. Karnataka has reported 500 positive cases with 20 deaths so far.
ಮೂರಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ರಿಲ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್ ಅಂತ ಆಮೇಲೆ ನೋಡೋಣಪ್ಪ ಮೂರವರೆಗೂ ನೋಡಿ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾವು ತೀರ್ಮಾನ ತಗೋಣ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳು. ಅವರು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಒಲವಿದೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದಿದೆ, ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ನಮಗೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಯಾಲ್ರಿಗೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಖಜಾನೆ ಖಾಲಿಯಾಗಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನು ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ ರಿಲ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಬಟ್ ಏನೇ ಆದ್ರೂ ಪ್ರಧಾನ.
Now, the workers and labourers are hard hit by this lockdown. Daily wage earners are finding it extremely difficult, even in this time, to have basic 2 meals, whether living in shelters, sleeping on footpaths or under flyovers. They are struggling to make ends meet. Gaurav Sawant brings us a ground report from the industrial belt of Delhi NCR region.
On an empty stomach, Kishori and her 4-year-old daughter make a desperate dash for the food van. A hungry Kishori drags her little daughter, half fearful the food packets would run out by the time she reaches. In her desperation for food, she breaks the queue, only to be pushed back to the rear end of the queue by equally desperate factory workers. By the time her number comes, there is hardly anything left for her to take. Though Kishori manages to get 4 rotis and curry, there is nothing left for her daughter or some other daily wagers.
क्या बेटा मिला नहीं आपको? हाँ? नहीं मिला?
Some of them waited in a queue for almost half an hour, but they couldn't get a meal. Some others came running quite some distance. They'd heard that food was being distributed on this road. Some are going happy. They've got at least the next meal. Others still uncertain. Where will this meal or even the next come from? More than a month into the lockdown, the daily wagers and factory workers are in panic, unable to get even 2 square meals a day.
कभी-कभी 24 घंटा बाद मुझे खाना मिला है, वो भी कभी 4 रोटी, कभी 3 रोटी, पूरी खाना नहीं मिलता है यहाँ पे। और खाना नए गांव से यहाँ तक आना पड़ता है। नए गांव पर ऐसा खाना मिलता है जिसमें आटा लिपटा हुआ है, सब जली फूकी रोटी है, सोयाबीन आलू है, सब डेली वही सब्जी है। सूखी किसी क्रम की सब्जी सब भैंसी नहीं खाएंगी सर, ऐसी सब्जी शहर में खाने के लोगों के लिए। यहाँ पे नए गाँव
कितने लोग हैं
हमारे परिवार में? 7 लोग हैं सर।
और 7 लोग के लिए 4 रोटी?
7 लोग के लिए मतलब सब लोग 2 लोग लाइन लगते हैं तो वो 10-12 रोटी मिल पाती हैं। अब बच्चे खाते हैं बार-बार, कहाँ से उतना पूरा हो जाएगा सर? अपना भूखे रह जाते, बच्चों को खिलाते हैं, क्या करें?
सर पैसे मान चलो 500 रुपए दे देते हैं तो 500 में 10 दिन के लिए क्या होता है, कुछ नहीं होता है। इतनी सर महंगाई हो गई है।
The story is not very different in Noida, Greater Noida, or even the Surajpur industrial belt.
सुबह तो कोई किसी भी तरह नहीं खा रहे, किसी भी तरह हो रहा है, मतलब बिना खाने के बराबर है। सिर्फ रात को खा रहे पैसे के लिए, पैसे कम होते जा रहे हैं। किसी के पास 400, किसी के पास 500 बचा और नहीं है, क्योंकि 1 तारीख को सैलरी मिला था, उसके बाद नहीं मिला। जिसका भी जो था एडवांस भी था, काट गया सारे।
लॉकडाउन बढ़ गया तो हम लोग भूखा मरे। मालिक भी कुछ खाने के लिए कुछ भी नहीं दिया और सीधा बोल के गया, इसके बाद नहीं मिलेगा फिर।
Their meager savings lasted them a month, but now their resources are also running dry. Manju Devi is literally scraping the bottom of the barrel at home. She has 3 children to feed, and the lockdown has now begun to hurt.
खाने पीने की समस्या है सर, दिक्कत आ रही है, परेशानी है। और जैसे दाल चावल यही बना के नहीं खाते हैं, जब आटा ख़त्म हो जाता है, आटा महंगा है। दूध की भी परेशानी है, कभी कभार दूध बंद हो जाता है, तो वैसे पाउडर का भी दूध ले तो बच्चों को लिए उसमें से पिला देते हैं, चाय पानी उसी में से।
Her husband is the foreman of the factory, shut for over a month. He was paid last month's salary, but Ashok Kumar is not sure, with the factory shut, if wages will be paid this month.
22 तारीख से कंपनी बंद है। अब कहां से खाएं, कहां से पिएं, घर में आटा दाल कुछ है नहीं। अब 22 तारीख से अब तक मतलब कैसे कैसे कर रहे हैं हम ही जाने।
The local shopkeepers, he says, are now charging more even for milk, wheat, rice and pulses.
Their food stocks are running low. Parents are eating less so that at least children get to eat a full meal. They've braved the lockdown for over a month. But now, with factories shut for 34 days and counting, the question is, if there is no work, how long will they continue to get paid, and how will the next salary or the next meal come on their table?
Some factory owners admit they are not in a position to both feed and pay their labor. They've kept the labor in factories and fed them so far, but if the lockdown continues, feeding and paying them will be easier said than done. These massive machines have been shut for over a month now. Will they remain shut even longer? Uncertainty looms large over the future of factory workers and owners here. So far, they say, lives have been saved, even though livelihoods may have been lost. But will the lockdown continue even further, and saving both lives and livelihoods now becomes their biggest challenge? With cameraman Kripal Singh in Greater Noida, Gaurav Sawant for India Today.
Now, the lockdown in India has been the strictest when compared to other countries like the United States as well as the UK. My colleague Akshita explains to us how this has helped the fight against coronavirus.
The Prime Minister, in his interaction with chief ministers yesterday, highlighted that the lockdown so far has yielded very positive results in the fight against coronavirus. And India Today's Data Intelligence Unit has in fact put forth this graph for you that explains exactly how it's helped India, this lockdown, in the fight against coronavirus. Now, let's just highlight for you this particular line in red. This is India, and we've also highlighted the stringency index based on the curbs that have been imposed during the lockdown. And you can see here that India is at 100, which means a maximum lockdown, maximum curbs have been imposed in India. And you compare this to other countries. Here on this side of the graph is a number of cases. India's just stopped short here. Now, beyond that, you see other countries have gone well beyond India, and that's because of the level of lockdown that they've had. Look, for example, at United States, which has the maximum number of COVID-19 cases in the world. They've enforced a very poor lockdown, where it's more about advisories, more about advising people of social distancing. And that's why you see at this point that they have the maximum number of cases in the country, 66.7 and the stringency index based on the level of the lockdown. Even in countries like the United Kingdom, which had a 71.4 strict lockdown, it still hasn't helped. You see, only for India, which has a 100% strict lockdown, it's helped in controlling the number of cases. South Korea has been successful despite not having a 100% lockdown. And other countries like Italy, you have Spain here, as well as Germany, all of them have had a 95% lockdown, but it's clearly not translated into arresting the spread of coronavirus. Whereas for India, with maximum curbs, with a 100% lockdown based on our stringency index, it's really ensured that we arrest the spread of coronavirus. And that's why the Prime Minister yesterday highlighted this, that the lockdown and the level of lockdown that we've had when compared to other countries has actually worked in our benefit, has helped in ensuring that we control the spread of coronavirus. And that's what's led to questions over whether there's a need to extend this lockdown further to ensure that we completely decimate this virus.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.